What's up?
How's that? Is that better? I missed the button. I went to click on it and I totally missed it. What is up? What is up, Mulan, Dwayne, Fitbit, Colby? What up, guys? How y'all doing? I hope y'all having a good week. I got the sound fixed. I apologize. I forgot to look back down after I went to click the mute, and I do that sometimes when I use the pad on the actual laptop. Totally missed it. My bad. What I was saying is, Keanu came in on a comment about the Best Tech Man Good Boy. It just makes me kind of sad that this has gotten already kind of a bad rap for the button lock issue. And all I was saying is that, I've been taking it out daily and flicking it and flipping it, and I continue to have a really good experience with mine. And I'll be completely honest, if I have any issues, I will come forth and say so, because I do like to share my warranty experience with companies. I've had very good warranty experience with Benchmade, with Hogue, Civivi. I feel like there's another one in there. And then I had a really bad one with Kaiser. Oh, well, I guess we Civivi still the same. So on a Civivi, I reached out to Civivi, and I would imagine it's the same service. And then my fault, I lost a spring for the super lock on my Vision R, and they only asked for me to pay for shipping, and they sent me a pack of springs at no cost. So good experiences with Wisa Vivi for sure on multiple occasions. I only had to send two Hogues in. One was for the Omega spring, and that was on a very early model. And then the other one was it developed lock rock on my K320, and I sent it into them and they fixed it. They never indicated why on that one, but I have a feeling, having had some coated blades where the lock is riding on the coating, I've noticed that in multiple different locks, I've had that issue where it kind of develops lock rock. Now, this one here, the lock has actually started to strip away the coating on the blade, which has really caused it to have a very solid lockup and very fantastic sounds. I mean, I really like the sounds on this one. I don't know what else to do. I've tapped the spine. I'm not going to continue to just beat on the knife, because that's not really a true test. What's happened to folks is they flipped it open and the lock shot out. And that's what I'm trying to duplicate. I'm not trying to continue to beat on the lock and deform the lock and compromise it in a way that it's not intended to be used. But Keanu came out there and just thanked me for saying that I noticed, and I've heard from other reviewers, that Best Tech Man is proactively reaching out to reviewers, urging anyone that bought it and had an issue to reach out to them, and they're looking at why it happened and making sure that it doesn't happen on future models. And that's all you can really ask for from a knife company. They're not being absent, they're not denying it, they're not trying to sweep it under the rug. And that's exactly what Vosti did, and I grew a great deal of respect for them, for standing up about, hey, we're new to button locks, it happened, we'll fix it. That's all you can ask. But that's part of the controversy around button locks, is it is a plunge lock, and if you don't get the tolerances exactly right, this is what can happen. Like, this is what can happen. So if you like fidgeting, and button locks are great for fidgeting, and that's why you want a button lock, I mean, that's the risk you run. But if you deal with a good company and they warranty it and they fix it for you, yeah, it sucks. It's a bad experience out the box. You don't want it to happen, but they stood behind the product. They made it right. That's where I stand on it. I have no affiliation again with Keanu. Best Tech Man, whatever. Buy it, don't make a difference to me. I just think it sucks. I think it's getting a bad rap. $50, D2, really good attention to details on the knife. And I've had a wonderful experience with mine. And the edge is okay. It's D2. It's D2. It's going to be toothy. It's, going to go through materials very well. And, it's going to be easy to chip it because it's not a super strong steel. But anyway, that's just what I'm at with that one. Let me catch up a little bit here. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Man, I clicked it and I didn't look to see if it was picking up audio. I just assumed. It's been a crazy week. I'm probably operating at like 75%, so my bad on that. What is up, Blade Crush? Who else jumped in here? Looks like that's it. Yeah. Oh, B Shady, what's up, brother? So last week, I had to cancel because work. It ended up running really, really late. I was hoping maybe like I could probably jump on, but I wasn't sure. But it would have been like 30 minutes later than usual, and I can't remember who comes on after me, and I didn't want to jump over their time slot. I try not to do that. I even struggled to find like a different day on the weekends because I think more people would probably tune in for that, like a night, like an evening during the weekends. There's just not a whole lot of options out there, and it's been kind of tough because it's been like a couple weekends I'm home, I could do it, and then there's been other times where I'm out and about, and I don't want to really continue to do it in a slot where I have like a high probability for canceling. Um, Maybe when I get in a space where I'm able to kind of better do that, but we're riding into the holidays now, and in my poll up there, I'm guilty. I totally uh, told the device that responds to the A name to play some a little while ago when I was getting set up for the live. I was like, fuck it. It's November 1. Why not? Why not? So, what is new in this week? Not too much. Last week, you guys missed out on the Best Tech Man Glock. That was another Keanu design. That one 14C28N. So, 20 bucks, 26 bucks, right? Yeah. No, not quite even. Not even quite. Like 18 bucks more for that one. Very interesting design. I'm not going to spoil the review. Tune in for the review for that one. It will be coming. I got a couple of the Glauconic knives, a couple more of the Glauconic lines from Kaiser. I think it's an interesting line. I like the fact that they're trying to work their way into that territory to compete with Syncut. And the reason I say that is because I think what'll happen is it's going to push each manufacturer to do better. So we have Simcut and we have Kaiser diving down into that. I feel like Kubi kind of already operates in that realm, and so does Miguron. And I'll be honest with you, I think Miguron in that $50 and under price point is doing it better. The designs are better. You're getting 14C28N on most of the models. They're a little bit more interesting. So I hope that they just it causes all of them to push to be better. These are new knives from them, and you'll see the review. One of them I liked. I kind of dug one a lot. It was they're simple designs. They're very straightforward as far as what they're offering. But one of them I kind of liked. And then I feel like there was something else. Oh, the giant mouse. The giant mouse. Jot. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think it's a German word. Um, those were in last week, but after I spent my time with them and I recorded this past weekend, I like to try to spend about 3 or 4 days with those and move them along because I can't disassemble them. I can't really test them like I do when I test knives I own. So I spend a little bit of time with them and do some light and just kind of give some overview impressions of them. But I feel like Giant Mouse is trying to continue to improve. And I love that they put little deviations on their design aesthetic to try to twist a little bit depending if you liked one thing and you didn't like another so that it will eventually appeal to someone. But they're not doing anything wildly different. I feel it's like Laconico. Ray Laconico, I feel like you kind of recognize his stuff, and I feel like that's kind of how it is with Giant Mouse as well. As you kind of recognize their stuff, and that's because what Voxnez and shoot Anzo, Voxnez and Anzo, have a calling card or marker, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, those were in last week, so I didn't get to share those. Yeah, that was it. That was all that came in last week. This week, not too much new coming in. I did a couple of pre-orders, which we'll get into here in a little bit, but I picked up another set of Raycons. I don't know if anybody out there, likes listening to music or YouTube in the bed at night, like if your significant other is asleep or whatever. And I use these when I go out for cutting grass. Not these. These I just got in because I actually have a second set that I leave in my backpack. So when I go to work, I may be working on something and put like a podcast on, to listen to while I'm working on things. Because there's some days where no one else on my team is in the office with me, depending on the day or what might be going on. But I really don't like the ones that are in my backpack. And I really, for $80 or less, because they were running a sale, these really hit. I really like them a lot, so much so that I bought a second pair to replace ones that were in my backpack. But I use the other ones for like the gym, yard work, whatever. And then I think it's charging right now, so I can't really. Can I get it up here without knocking the camera over? I don't think so. It's kind of twisted, so I'm just going to unplug it and show it to you. Sorry, I had to fold the top of the laptop down. So I have the Dapper Design Ion in my pouch, and I ordered the X and had no idea this thing is huge and it has some weight to it, man. I thought it was just going to be like the Dapper was smaller than the i3T from Olight. If anybody's ever handled one familiar with this, I thought this was going to be like, oops, i5 size. And this thing is a full-on flashlight. A full-on flashlight. I was like, holy cow. And I thought they said it was titanium, but yeah, it is. It is. Because I'm like, this thing was expensive. Not awful, but it was definitely, the Dapper Design Ion, I think is like a sub $100 micro flashlight. So I figured the X was just going to be, a slightly bigger version of that. Nah, that thing is huge. So that's all that really came in this week. There are some knives that are coming via the pass round, but they didn't get here in time. I checked in the mail just to see if maybe I could unveil it, and I honestly cannot remember what's coming through in the pass around. What's up, Byron? Thanks for stopping by, brother. I appreciate it. So before we get into like what I pre-ordered and stuff, I'm flipping my $25 Syncut. What is that? Honoris? Is that how you say that? Yeah, Syncut, man, for the money, $25. Is that D2 9CR? You must have caught that on sale. That's a really good deal. I love when they run sales on their stuff and you can get something like that. That's awesome. Blade said I was gonna buy one, but you talked me out of it. Oh, bro, don't let me discourage you, man. I know you said you were kidding, but don't let me discourage you. Blade said he also had a pyrite that was off center. The liners were warped. Yeah, I think I've encountered that before. I feel like with the pyrite, they have the nested liners, and I think on one of my echoes, I encountered that. Like something was off with the liner that was causing it not to center up. So I've had that happen to me before. Blade Crush said that's 9CR. I like 9CR. I mean, I like 9CR and D2 under $50. Um, I feel like they're going to perform better than stainless steel knives, and they're great for gifts for people that just aren't into that hobby, that are like, hey, I have like, $50 to spend on it. I told my friend to pick up the Elementum 2 button lock, not the Elementum button lock. The Elementum 2 button lock, you know, I was like, it is a button lock, but Civivi does a really good job. And if you get it just spine whack, I told him like how to spine whack test it, and he said it was fine. He loves it. Nitro V, just slightly over 50. I know I referenced the Elementum because they are normally D2, but they've moved to Nitro V, which I'm seeing mixed stuff on Nitro V. I have the Vision FG, and I've had no issues with mine. I did a little bit of testing. I just put like a quick video out there of like just going through 20 cuts because I'm just breaking cardboard down and getting into stuff. Like I'm not on the job using it every day hard. And there's other people that are torture testing what more so than I am. And I saw where, someone did a really good test on it. I think it was Stasa, and it came away doing really well. And then I saw Duty do a test on it, and he was like, nah, this is crap. I was like, damn. And I have had people reach out to me asking me about my Kunlus, which I haven't had no issues with either one of my oh, it's in my pocket. My Kunlus. I actually carried it today, my S-Tau in Vanex. And I think with Vanex, it's one of those steels where if you do belt, um, put an edge on it with a belt, you can fatigue the edge and it won't perform as well. But man, I don't know. I've had that S-Tau a little while, and I've had my Padre a little while, and I'm not really noticing anything. So I've been now that someone has asked me about my experience with them, I'm like, well, let me make sure every time I decide to put those into the rotation that I'm cutting with them, like breaking down an Amazon package or something when it comes in, which I don't always, I don't always have a box to break down. And then what I think I'll probably do this weekend, if I have some time, I save some cardboard when I do kind of square them down to do like, hey, I'm gonna every 5 passes cut paper just to see, does it chip, does it fade away quickly when I get the end of doing like 30 or 40 of these, like what's my experience, does it need a strop, does it need a sharpen, and I'll share that with you and you can make a decision on your own, I guess. So I do try to do that when people reach out to me, but I've been less inclined to deliberately go and do that. I just kind of use it like I use it. Ba-ba-ba. Blade Crush, I've got a Phoenix PD35 version 3, 1700 lumens, terrific, nice. Terrific customer service, is that what you're saying, CS? Terrific CS? Um, I don't think I've had a Phoenix before. And I do like flashlights. I legit, just before we came on, before I set everything up, I recorded like some of my favorite gear for 2023. And, I hate spoiling that stuff because I like for y'all to watch. But my favorite pickup flashlight 2023 Ace Beam Rider RX Titanium. Um, you know, just a awesome knife. It's got a cool uh little feature to it where it has detent balls that you can kind of flip it and lock it into place. Now you can inadvertently hit it and knock it out of position, but to me that's not that big a deal. The detent balls do a good enough job holding that in there. I like the look. I love that the aluminum housing is underneath the outer shell. So when you have it on that high beam or bright beam or whatever, it's not getting hot in the hand. So I really like the design of it, the look. This is definitely my favorite. I used to say like Olight was my favorite, but the Ace Beam is definitely my favorite. But there's some really good options out there. I've heard multiple people talk about the Phoenix. I've had a couple of through lights that I really like too, that are really good. So depending on price point, what color options you're into, that you're looking for, there's definitely stuff out there that are good that I've had good experience with. And I would definitely say, like, if you're looking at that stuff, when you hear somebody like Blade or whoever talk about a brand that I haven't encountered before, like, listen to what they're saying. I love when people have stuff that have used it, that have had good experience, share that in the comments. Like, I encourage people, like, check the comments too. If there's something that you're kicking the tires on, look down in the comments on any reviewer's video, because somebody in there is going to tell you good and bad. And it's going to happen. Sometimes there's going to be some bad experiences, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad product overall. It just means that, hey, there is a potential for you to get a lemon in a batch. And that's with anything, man. That's with anything. That is with anything. I spent a ton of money on an Alienware M17 portable PC, and every once in a while it acts funky and the accent lights won't cut on or something weird, and it's a brand new one. And I think part of that is, I think production after, I don't want to get too deep into this, but I think after COVID, production items have suffered. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So that's just my opinion. What is the max lumen on that flashlight? That is a good question. I don't know it by heart, but let's look real quick because it is on Amazon, which I have affiliate links for. Let's see. Ace Beam Rider RX. I don't really need the titanium. I just need the Rider RX. They have a couple of cool options. They got like an all blacked out one for 30 bucks. Um, they have a chrome polished, and they have one that's like rainbow colored. I mean, I don't know if anybody would really want the rainbow colored. Oh wow, they added a blue, an all blue one. Is that titanium? That's got to be the titanium one because that's 50, which is about where it is. Oh, they got an M70, but it's $100. I don't know if I'd want to check that. So 650. It says max lumens 650. I'm trying to see what the three. Oh, here we go. I know I'm not sharing my screen. I'm sorry. That's the construction tail switch, 53-hour runtime, but I'm sure that's on the minimum brightness setting. All right. Well, it doesn't say there. Maybe it says a little bit lower in the. I'm looking. Sorry, guys. Yeah, 650 lumens just shows the max. I wish maybe it's. Is this the official page or is this just a reseller? Visit the AceBeam store. So it is AceBeam, but unfortunately, it doesn't really say what the max lumens are. And I very rarely, to be completely honest, use the. Oh, I didn't go back to the chat. I very rarely use the max lumens. I actually find what I'm doing is the moonlight setting because my wife and I actually are on opposite days in the office, which means there's mornings where I'm up and she's not up yet, and I'm trying to like, where's my wallet, where's my, well, I know where my phone is, glasses, etc. So the moonlight kind of helps me move around without like turning the big overhead light on and blinding her. So I'm trying to be mindful of her, or if I'm digging around for my shoes or whatever. So I find that a moonlight setting is the most common that I use, and then kind of like a medium setting if I'm, out in the back with the dog to make sure she's going to the bathroom, or um, looking in the hood of the car or something. Like I very rarely use the max bright setting on my flashlights. I just haven't been in a situation where I've had to yet anyway. So 650 is what I'm seeing. 650 is what I'm seeing. Let's see. I like the Nitro V on the Conspirator, but I didn't like the ARPM on my Lego. I don't think the Lego has symmetrical grinds to begin with. Okay. Da, da, da. Yes, Rovivon. Thank you, Mulan. Rovivon. Rovivon is also very good. I have one of their keychain lights at my desk downstairs. It used to be in the pouch that I leave in my work bag, and I think I threw the stream light in there. I like both of them though, but Rovivon is also very, very, very good. Their build quality is crazy for the money. AR RPM 9, I like. It reminds me of 9CR 18 MOV. Corrosive resistant, um, decent edge retention. It's not going to wow anybody. It's not going to perform as well as like D2, even though they tried to get as close as they could to D2 performance. But it's not going to be chippy, and it's not going to be um, difficult to maintain. So I've had it on the, what is their, like, they're very popular model. I don't know why I'm blanking on this. Oh man, I can't even think of what it was. And they even made a button lock version. So I have the Echo that my wife got me, and I've used it a pretty good deal. I companion carry that a lot, and I'll break down like again a package, get into a package. There was something that I used it on that was a pretty big box that I broke down for a while, and I was pretty impressed with how it held up for edge retention. I expected it to dull faster than it did. And again, it could be that model. Damn, what is that? CJRB. It should come up in the search, right? Because it's one of their Feldspar. God, man, I couldn't think of what it was called for a second. I had that Feldspar for forever, And I felt like that AR RPM 9 didn't perform as well as the one on the two that I had on the Echo, because I had the liner lock contoured scale version of the Echo. Oh, and I had a Pyrite, and the Pyrite did really well as well. But when the Echo came along, I let my Pyrite go because I liked the size and the ergos on the Echo a little bit better. But I think it, for the money, excuse me, guys, uh, I like it. I think it's a impressive steel that isn't going to wow anybody when you compare it to like 14C28N. Definitely not 154CM. 154CM is still like my favorite budget steel. Um, but I think 9CR, probably 10CR, I think is probably more comparable. Let's see. Were you that guy that had a TPK late champion Barlow backspin break? Yes. I reached out to him. He got it last Friday, and I reached out like Tuesday, and I was like, "Hey, just curious to see what you found out." He's like, "I did get it. I haven't gotten to it just yet. There's been a lot that's been happening," and I'm like, "That's cool. I am curious to find what you learn about that." Um, he had indicated he was like, totally honest, this is the first time it's happened on anything that I've gotten on anything that QSP has made for a spring lock. So he was shocked that it happened, so he wanted to look at it. I think based off of where the back spring was sticking out from the back a little bit, like it was just a hair off. I think I have I think I have my QSP Hedgehog here, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on my face cam. But the way the back spring, like here, it's completely flush and smooth. Like you can't feel it at all. It was slightly raised about the spot where the screw is on this knife. It looked like it was about the same because you can see inside. You can't see inside there, I don't think. But inside, you might be able to kind of sort of pick up where that extra meat is for the screw. It was about that spot where it was. So I'm thinking that the spring was so strong, the screw might have given way to the strength of the back spring. So I'm waiting to see if that's what happened, and I'm also waiting for my replacement because I really like that full size Barlow. Uh, I'm very curious to get it back. It was super slicey out of the box, and I liked the ergo, so I'm really anxious to get it back. I was really excited about it. I'm still excited about it, but I'm also kind of curious to see what gave. And I have a feeling that the spring or the pin or whatever's right there to help keep the spring from moving, I think that's what gave out. But you better believe when I get it back, I'm gonna be opening and closing the crap out of it because I'm gonna test another one when I get it back and see if it's just again the lemon, and it happens. But I love that it's a content creator that it happened to, because then I can kind of share. Like I've had what was their exclusive traditional pocket knife exclusive? Damn, I can't think of the name. I am like, I can tell that I'm not operating at full. Let me see. Traditional pocket knives exclusive. Man, I'm just like, it's like on the tip of my tongue if they even have any left. So those are the Barlows. Oh, and did they sell out of them? I don't even know if they have any left. Ohio River Jack. Lord have mercy. The Ohio River Jack, I had two of those. I have the Hedgehog and then the Barlow. So of the four, one right away gave out. And I will give the feedback on what that was for sure. And I am still very excited to get that back because ergonomically it was nice to actually have like a truly full size. Like I'm gonna carry that as a secondary in addition to my folder and my little organizers that I have. I'm gonna carry it in that, and I'm gonna put it to work. I want to see how it does. Oh, Byron, I looked it up, man. I'm sorry. I'm catching up now. Yeah, yeah. Plus, I think the battery lasts forever, like on the medium settings. Like it lasts a really long time. The feldspar. Yeah, bees love the feldspar. How well does the coating on an aluminum knife hold up? I think the best answer I could give is that it varies from manufacturer. Through my own fault, I have the Simcut Serene. Is that right? The aluminum button lock. I scratched it. But wear wise, it seems to be holding up well, but I've only had it a couple months. Now, I had my Mordax for like 9, 10 months. It did not wear out at all. So again, I think it depends on the manufacturer. I also have kind of hit something up against like the Mordax in my pocket and stuff, like things that were a little bit harder than me holding it in my hand, and it didn't show any signs of wear. Now it did have what I would call like a snail trail, like you could see where it looked darker where something rubbed up against it, but the coating never came off. You could just kind of see a little bit of snail trail here and there from where things kind of bumped up against it, but it never showed through to the raw aluminum. Because there's not a captive pivot on the Serene, I was having to hold 2 bits, and I really need to get that finger bit from uh, the it's Skiff, but I forget what they call it. Skiff bearings, sorry. The rocket glides from Skiff, but I forget what they call that finger bit thing. I need something like that because I've scratched a couple of knives trying to remove the captive, a couple of the budget knives, which I love the captive because it makes it so much easier to control to do that. But Spyderco does that as well. But with Spyderco, you get G10, which is really durable, and I can't say that I've ever scratched any of those. But let me get to my pre-orders real quick before we jump into the last things that I wanted to talk about today. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Byron. Yeah, that higher river jack. He said he would. Well, he offered. He was like, whatever you. I'm very. He was deeply apologetic and upset that it happened. And he wanted to look at it, see what's going on, just to see if like he, should be concerned. And he was like, I can refund you whatever you want. I was like, no, I want the knife. I really was happy because I got a good cut from the camo carbon. I liked the blues in it. So now I'm nervous, like if he ends up sending me a brand new one, is it going to be, as vibrant on the colors? Because it can be hit or miss sometimes. So I liked the pattern. So I'm hoping it's very, another vibrant pattern. So let me go back. So I'm going to share my screen so you don't have to see this bright light on my face. And then we're going to look at, I don't even know, I think it was in the coming soon. So I decided, I came back later. Oh, look at that. Is that M4? They have a M4 Yo Jumbo. Oh man, that's a really good knife. But I pre-ordered and it's still available for pre-ordered. I went ahead and ordered the Crucarda Manix 2. Um, I've had 4 Manix 2s and I really like them, but I always go back to my Shaman, so I never really keep them. I think this will motivate me to keep this because they kind of sort of occupy the same space. I've always referred to the Manix 2 as an affordable baby Shaman. So if you liked the Shaman but you don't like the Shaman price, the Manix 2 is totally the way to go because it's going to be a really nice option. So I went ahead and pre-ordered that. That money I have set aside for it to come out. So it's like money spent for me that I don't have to worry about. Something else that I thought was really interesting that I liked is I was really happy to see that, they continue with these lightweights for them to be disassembled. I think the older Manix 2s were not able to be disassembled. Oh, is that captive? Hold on. I thought when I looked at this earlier, damn, I can't zoom in. They look like the bolt heads, but they look like they did Chicago screw style because this side here does not have the bolt heads on it. So I don't know. I thought they said that they were going to move around from that. I think this is cool that they did Assault lightweight. I like the lightweight Manix 2 as well, but the the Crew Carter is the one that I ordered. I'm really excited. I can't wait for that one to get in here. The micarta that I've experienced from Spyderco is actually kind of nice. It's very rough finish and very grippy, but it doesn't feel bad. Like it seems like it's well done. So I'm going to be very curious to see how this one comes when it gets here. I don't think they have like an ETA at all for this. I have no idea. It's probably going to be next year sometime before I ever see this knife. Um, it's weird that they said the Manix 2 is part of the Spyderco Salt series. Is Crew Carta highly corrosive resistant? Crewware? Is Crewware highly corrosive resistant? I don't think I knew that. Let me just see if I can find the other one. So the other one that I decided to order, you guys are probably going to laugh at me because it's been a long, long time since I've gotten this type of steel. Um, I like that Nefarious, but if I'm being totally honest, the one that they have coming out that I really like is I'm hoping I can find it. I gotta go slow because I'm looking for the other one that I pre-ordered as well. This one, the Boltusk. I think it's a very interesting looking knife. I heard that they moved away from 9CR to 10CR and another stronger steel for their Damascus blades. I also want to check out their Ultim and compare it to some other Ultim that I've encountered. I know a lot of people say like Ultim looks PP. Um, if your pee looks like that, please drink more water and hydrate. Ultim looks like golden ale. Looks like a light beer golden ale to me. Uh, I have this Ultim bead, which I don't think you'll be able to see too well. And this is, I would say, whoops, lighter in color than my driver. So to me, it kind of looks like a golden ale or a light beer. I really think that's what Ultim looks like. And to drive my point home, I plan to, when I get my American Blade work back from the Pass Round group, which is in Ultim, and whenever that one comes in, I don't know when it's going to release. I'm going to be posting with beer. So I really like when it's a thick Ultim like this, like in the handle. I really think that's a really beautiful color. Like where the thickest part is there, where you can't see through it as well. Looks like a darker ale, and then I think Ultim is a lighter ale. Anyway, Ultims are really tough material, scratch resistant, etc., etc. So that is why I am interested in checking it out. This picture here is not going to be a great picture because it's been brightened up for presentation to show detail so you can see there's micro milling in the handle. You can see it by the distortion in the handle. And then they have the slats here. I'm not saying that right. And then you can kind of see the Damascus. 10CR at 59 to 60 is going to perform well. 58 to 60 is going to perform well. So I am interested in checking it out. It's got dual means of deployment, so I can do the review on that and kind of check some of their Ultim out in person to see what it looks like and just give some feedback. If you're not into Ultim, I still think it's going to be a very interesting model. It's 8.14 inches with nearly a 3.5-inch blade. And I think it's a good looking knife overall. Now let's see if I can find that Wii I was talking about, if anyone remembers. And then I promise I'll come back to the chat here in just a second. Um, there's a couple more button locks. I am getting a little button lock burnout because everybody's kind of jumping on it. and they're pushing out a bunch of button lock models. So I am getting a little burnt out on button locks. But if you like Civivi, Syncut, they do a really good job. I've not heard anything negative from anyone about experience with their button lock. I don't know why they decided to make the Brazen a button lock. I liked it better as a liner lock. The I guess that's the Amirite reverse Tonto. Cool stuff. I love that they offer variety, even though a lot of people are like, I'm burnt out on people just throwing everything up on the wall and seeing what sticks. The problem is some people are going to be like, I want a large knife. Some people are going to be like, I want a small knife. Some people are going to be like, I don't like that design, but I like the materials being offered at that price point. So I do like that they offer a lot of stuff. Um, but I get it. It's at a high rate, so I can understand why some people feel like overwhelmed or feel like pressured, like they got to buy everything. And I would say just don't buy everything. You know, wait until there's something that you really, 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 really like. And I really like this one Wii Civivi, and I cannot find it now. Like the kite fin, and I think the other thing too, it looks like if you look on this kite fin in the picture, if you can see that, it looks like the pocket clip's going to be reversible, and button locks do offer an option for lefties to have something that's more usable for them. There it is, the Orpheus. I really like the way that that looks, but that I cannot get past that price point. Um, that price point is tough to swallow. But I really, really like this. My hope is it doesn't sell out at this price point, and at some point they'll do a sale and I can get it then, or maybe somebody gets it on the secondary market and has buyer's remorse, and I can get it for like $100 less. That's my hope. That's my hope. That is a lot, man. That's like $100 less than a Chris Reeve. That's for me. That's tough to justify for a Chinese made knife. And I don't mean any disrespect because I feel like Wii Civivi does a really good job for the money, but that is a lot of money for 20 CV and Nebula Fat Carbon. There's some details here, don't get me wrong, but that is a lot of money. I just don't know that I could justify that. Um, and maybe that's faux pas on me. Maybe I shouldn't feel like that just because it's Wii. All right, I'm catching back up really quick. 2 out of 5 piece. Oh, not too much. Yeah, seen a new one. Yeah, the Ziphius is a model I really like as well. If that one came through on sale, I'd probably get that as well. The just some of the prices here. I've had like a whole change in philosophy, and I won't get into all of that in this. Uh, like anything over $300, I've really pulled back on. I want to stay under 300 as much as I can for my own collections for things that I review on the channel. Things like what we see from Megaron, the Kyrex 2. I love that that's a sub $200 knife with M390 that's decently treated. Uh, Kunwu, I think when you talk about premium materials and what's being offered is exciting. I want to get back to looking at stuff that has steels that I've never encountered before from Spyderco because I love their heat treat. So I'm not opposed to checking out those over $300 knives, but I'm more interested in what I can find under 300 that is exciting steels, exciting materials, look good, built well, perform well, and that take feedback from the community. So I'm kind of trying to do that more because I did get caught up, honestly, in the excitement of the Arius, which I've sold. I decided I did not want to keep any of my Chris Reeve knives, even though I love them. Um, so like I've stepped away a, a big time from stuff that's over 300. Not that I don't want to experiencing but I really have slimmed it down. I think I have the Drift L, which is just slightly over that. It's so close that I'm okay with keeping that, and it's very exciting, and I really like. I'm surprised how much I like the knife that's thin. I found here recently when they have tall handles, but they're thin. I actually really like those, and they're very comfortable to use. Um, yeah, the Orpheus. I love that design. I'm thinking about getting the Vision FG Ultim with Black Blade. So, Blade, I love it when, and I think I've said this before, so I'm sorry if I'm a broken record here. I love when they do the liners blacked out. Even if the blade is not, I love the blacked out hardware and handles because I think it makes the Ultim have that deep auburn color that I really, really like. Again, like I said, the kind of light beer, medium brew um, color to it. It's a really, really good color. And again, if you if your pee is that color, please drink more water, or stop drinking whatever it is that you might be drinking, or as much of it, I guess I would say. But I kind of wanted to circle back. There was a couple of things that I saw in the community that I just kind of wanted to touch on. I know there's not as many people here. I don't know if I'm going to do a full-on video for it. I think more people would probably watch in the video. But there's a couple things that I just wanted to kind of hit on. Uh, as far as with the community, sorry, talking consistently for so long there, I was building up a little bit of a thirst. Stay hydrated. But there was a conversation around reviewers and kind of two things that I wanted to touch on. First, is reviewers that appear to be like forcing or encouraging you to purchase things. And I can see why someone would form that opinion and kind of be turned off to that. What happens, I feel like, as channels grow, more manufacturers want to try to access their platform to advertise their brand and their offerings. So they send stuff for them to review. And it's very exciting. And I think this is kind of where when you're blowing up and you're starting to get all of this stuff that comes through, it's a very exciting time. It's very exciting to get exposed to products that you probably wouldn't have prioritized purchasing with your own funds. Like when you're smaller, you got to be very selective. Um, and or fluid, like moving things along in order to keep funds freed up for the channel, because you don't want to go into debt over a review channel because we're purchasing this stuff out of pocket. And I think it's just really exciting. Like it's really exciting for me to be part of the pass around, and I'm extremely grateful because I would not get the opportunity to get exposure to all of these models. And some of the stuff that I really like, so Migaron's a bad example because that's not part of the pass around. That's stuff that I've bought with my own money. People have recommended I checked out stuff, and I've bought it. And I've been really excited about what Migaron's doing because for the money with the materials and the production quality and heat treat, again, everything is checking the box and they listen to the community. They listen to the feedback. Maybe not from everyone, but they're listening. And that's something that's very exciting to me. So I find that I do feel very passionate about them because I feel like I can recommend them to people based off my experience and what I like from them and not have any reservation or hesitation about what someone's going to get on their end with that experience. But I think what happens is it gets exciting because you get to sample all these models. Like, who wouldn't love that? To have, a 200,000 subscriber channel and get all this stuff thrown at you to check out. Then you're getting into the situation where you have all this inventory and you got to get it out quick. So you're spending less time with it and you're going based off of your experience. People have been doing this a long time. And from your experience and that limited time that you've had with it, and this is where I felt like with the pass around, 3 or 4 days with it, I can tell you what I feel about it design wise, what it feels like in my hand, and how it seems like the knife should perform based off of other examples that I've encountered from that manufacturer. So a Kizer, I've had my own Kizers, I have my own Kizers. And I can tell you based on my experience from having had other ones longer that I know that you're going to get a good experience. And I always preface it that if you like this design, it's built well, it feels good in hand, it performs well, it's locked up solid. Like just telling you all the things that I think are important for you to know to make an educated decision on purchasing it. But I never want anyone to feel like I'm forcing them to buy anything that I'm reviewing. I'm just excited about what I have in my hand because I'm passionate about it. Like I have a great interest on it. Um, the production of it, geometry, performance, materials, like all of that stuff is really cool to me to see what can be built and what can be offered in the different styles. So I think it's a little bit harsh for people to say like, oh, they turned into a seller because I don't think that's what they're intending to happen. There are exceptions to this, and I do understand that, but I feel like those channels that have gotten bigger worked to get there, and they're doing the best they can to bring exposure to as much as they can. But I think if you gave the feedback like, hey, you're kind of coming off like a salesperson, you know, um, I think most people would probably want to know that that's what has happened. I feel like I don't know because I don't have a big channel. I haven't left my main job and main source of income to have the pressures of trying to make it continue to be successful and promoting things to continue to be able to do it full time. So I don't know what that's like. But when it's your livelihood, I feel like promoting as much as you can of using the things that your subscribers have access to use to help continue to monetize things, I think it's acceptable. But I feel like if you encounter any of YouTuber that you used to like that you stopped watching because of that, I would say say something. I would say something. And if they didn't like it, then I know where I stand and I know how they feel about it. But I would want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say something because I don't think people intend for that to happen. Um, I promote the links and everything like that because it helps. Like I can get a hold of more things to do more reviews to give more feedback. And then I try to pay it forward. I try to do giveaways when I have the opportunity to do them to give back to the people for using the links. I try to give discounts on stuff because, if I spent a lot on something of my own money, getting some of that back helps me so I can move to the next item and give somebody a deal. But again, most of the stuff that's coming, like 95% of the stuff that comes through on the channel, I bought with my own money or money that I recouped from selling something else. Um, I haven't, when I purchase stuff to give away, some of that is money from the links and some of that is my own money. And it's just a way of saying thanks for tuning in and supporting. Like I appreciate it. And I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to kind of do that because I know I would be ecstatic to be on the receiving end. So it's a lot of fun for me. But anyway, the other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about is the whole use your stuff. Um, I never understood how a dirty knife, a dirty tool, a dirty truck, um, for taking it off road equates to you. I use my stuff. I get in my vehicle every day and drive it to and from work. I bought it to get me around, to haul my mountain bikes to the trails when I want to go biking, to haul my kids when they were younger to sports. Like I use it. Just because I don't use it the way that you use it doesn't mean that I'm not using it. And you shouldn't have the right as a person that didn't purchase and give it to me to tell me how to use it. And I'm talking about a vehicle. I feel the same way about any of my personal belongings, as should you. If you bought a knife because you like the way that it looks, you love the idea of the materials being able to exceed all of the performance expectations that you would have from it, but you don't use it that way, doesn't mean that you should not own it. You should own whatever makes you happy. If you can afford it and it doesn't put you in debt and it doesn't put you in a position where you're worse off for doing that, Just be responsible, I guess, is all I would say. Buy what you want. If you like the way something looks and you like the materials that it comes in, you like the colors that it is, if it makes you happy, buy it. Don't let anyone out there tell you you shouldn't buy a $5,000 mountain bike because you're just riding local trails and you're not riding professionally. If you have the income and that's the worst thing that you buy as in a hobby, it just kills me how people feel like they should tell people what they should and shouldn't do with their things. Um, I own stuff that I never use. Does anybody out there collect baseball cards or anything like that? I have toys that I bought when my kids were children that are in packages and totes that I have never opened. And I hope when I pass that I can leave it to them and maybe one of them will be of value. Now, I know that's like a very niche thing, but I never played with the toy. I mean, I wouldn't. I bought them when my kids were kids. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just don't think that anyone should tell anyone who spent money on something how they should use their stuff. It just absolutely kills me. Use your shit. I do. I carry it every day. I open packages quite often. I break down cardboard quite often. I test a lot of stuff for the channel. Like I probably wouldn't do as much cutting of things if I didn't have the channel to kind of give some feedback of like, hey, this is kind of, on an if I cut with it on what I think somebody would probably do within a couple of months' time using a knife, like every day for real, that's I'm pushing to do that to give the feedback. Because if it was just me carrying my stuff, I probably would be like everybody else out there and probably flicking it open and closed more than I did cutting with it. Um, anyway, just something a little bit passionate about. Uh, I can't remember where I saw that conversation happening, but it is quite annoying to have someone tell you how you should be using your stuff. But anyway, y'all can let me know what you think down there about that one. Just a couple of things I wanted to kind of talk about today, and just so where I was. So Ultim's what I like Bruins and Porter, so Ultim's still not a sale as Coors Light. Got it. Hey man, it's not for everybody. Just like fat carbon's not for everybody. Just like aluminum's not for everybody. Like it's just not for everybody. But I kind of think Ultim's cool. I will admit the durability and strength of the material to the weight, like carbon fiber, is really what is more intriguing to me for Ultim. The carbon fiber background for me comes from mountain biking. I have an aluminum mountain bike because it is still lightweight and fairly durable. And the coating that they use on the aluminum for mountain bikes, that shit holds up really well. Especially because I do wreck on occasion. I've ridden for a long, long time, so not nearly as bad as when I was first learning. But they make carbon fiber handlebars, uh, carbon fiber pedals. Like they throw a lot of carbon fiber on there, which has a shelf life. If anybody knows anything about carbon fiber, which is what is interesting about Altum to me. I'm curious to see what type of shelf life it ends up having. But if you didn't know, carbon fiber, when stressed or pushed to the max, has a shelf life. So like mountain bikes, I think typically their carbon fiber frames have somewhere between a 5 and a 7 year warranty. They expect that is the life expectancy of that carbon fiber bike from bam, taking drops, jumps, hits, riding across, like getting beat to crap, riding over roots, rocks, and stuff when you're on trails. Like I don't know if anybody's into the hobby, but 7 years of riding every season with that type of environment and endurance being put on, that's impressive to me because it's like half the weight of aluminum, which is already a really lightweight material, which is why I do like aluminum on knives because it feels more premium. It is extremely durable. It has a better shelf life than a carbon fiber. But again, if you're not batoning and stuff, your carbon fiber scales, your handles, they're gonna last longer than you probably will be alive to enjoy it. So it's just fascinating to me from that perspective. That's why I like it. I get it's not the greatest color. I think there's like a black Ultim out there. I don't know the technical term for it, but that is what is interesting to me. But I do like, as I mentioned on the Griffin tool, when it when you can have that auburn color to it. I like that a lot. Your Arius was non-flipper. I remember, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Blade it wasn't. I actually gave a deal to Knife Dope. He bought it from me, and then I don't think he realized. Like I try to tell people I have large hands. I don't understand why people. So he was like, it's too big for me. I was like, my bro, I told you. Like I like knives that fit my. Even when they're small knives, if I can get a full purchase on them, I will enjoy that. It's not all about having a 3.5 inch, 4 inch blade. It just so happens that most knives that I enjoy or feel comfortable and that feels comfortable in hand happen to be larger. But like the Hyphen is a small knife that I continue to love and enjoy. It hits the right mix of purchase, ergos, contoured scales that are chunky enough to feel good in hand and comfortable to use to, and just the design and everything about that. I really like that one. Like I was shocked. I liked it so much that I got rid of my Roxy 3, which up until I got the Hyphen was my favorite small knife. And again, I use the term small because it's small for me. I realize it's not really a small knife. It's just, smallish. Um, but yeah, man, it was a big one. Nothing wrong with trying to drive the value concept in mid-premium materials offered. Orion, Kunmu, Migron, Quiet Carry, etc. Yeah, and I really like Quiet Carry. Um, they seem very outdoorsy. And my stepfather is a big time fisherman. My mom remarried when I was like between eighth and ninth grade, so I guess like 13. I don't know. Is that right? I don't know if that's right. And I had never gone fishing before she remarried, and he took us. It was fun. Like I had a blast. So much so that whenever they go, my parents like to camp in a camper, which is like a mini home that they pull behind their truck. But they park it now, and they have like a deck and everything. Whenever they invite to go, I'm down. It is so much fun. But I like the fact that they're kind of outdoors. They focus on corrosive resistant stuff. They use good materials, and they have nice designs. They seem like community folks that own that company. To my knowledge, I think like almost all of their, if not all of their knives are made out of a Taiwan plant that does a really good job. And I say the same thing about the Spydercos that come out of Taiwan. Phenomenal quality. I really like the quality. Not that I have anything against knives that are directly made in China. There's a lot of good ones. Um, it's just overall, I'm trying to get back under that 300 on looking at stuff, and I'm trying to see what I can find out there that's really interesting, really nice. Again, like you said, Kunwu, Migron, etc., etc. Um, yep, yep. Oh, is it after 7? Holy crap! Yep. Thanks, guys, for coming out. I probably should go downstairs and make some dinner, man. I hope all of you have a great night. Go over and say hey to Faction, and thanks for tuning in with me tonight. Enjoy the rest of the week. Have an awesome weekend. Stay warm. It is cold here today. I think it's going to be like under 30 here tonight. So stay warm, everybody. Love you guys. See you on the next one. Peace.